You can start, sir. Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Can you all hear me? Okay, my topic today is global warming. And this topic is, like a very hot topic right now. Tumba ellaru charche ಮಾಡುವಂತ topic ಇದು. So, ಈ global warming andre ಏನು? In Kannada, to translate it into Kannada, it would be ಪಳೆಯುಳಿಕೆಯ ಇಂಧನ is fossil fuels. ಜಾಗತಿಕ ತಾಪಮಾನ ಏರಿಕೆ is global warming. So anyway, the global warming means the gradual increase in the Earth's temperature, in the average temperature of the Earth, not just temperature, but average temperature of the Earth. So this has been going on for quite some time. So now we will see what this global warming is all about. It's a term used to describe a gradual increase in the average temperature of the Earth's atmosphere and its oceans. So the surface of the Earth as well as the air above the Earth gets heated up gradually, and this is global warming. Now, what is the problem with global warming? So global warming adre namage ಏನು ತೊಂದ್ರೆ? ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಶೆಕೆ ಆಗತ್ತಷ್ಟೇ, ಒಂದು AC ನೋ ಫ್ಯಾನ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ವಾ? So what is the problem with global warming? The main problems with global warming are the rising of the sea level. The sea level rises andre heat expands, solids, liquids ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ heat ಆದ್ರೆ expand ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನಮ್ಮ glaciers, then the Antarctica ನಲ್ಲಿರುವ the ice cover ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಮೆಲ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಮೆಲ್ಟ್ ಆದ್ರೆ obviously all the water goes into the sea and the level of the sea rises. So ಈ sea level rise ಆದಾಗ ತೊಂದರೆ ಏನು? Coastal areas ನಲ್ಲಿರುವಂತ countries, cities ಎಲ್ಲ ಮುಳುಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ. Cities, countries like Egypt, Netherlands, and Netherlands is situated below sea level. They build dikes, like dam tara. So they are called dikes. So these dikes nalla katbittu, they have the country lies below sea level. So if the level of the sea rises, there is a major chance that the country will get submerged underwater. Some countries may disappear as a result of rising sea levels, he says. Secondly, the global warming may cause drastic changes in weather patterns. This is something we have already experienced. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಕಾಲ ಕಾಲಕ್ಕೆ ಮಳೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇತ್ತು, ವಿಂಟರ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಚಳಿ ಇತ್ತು, ಸಮ್ಮರ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಶೆಕೆ ಇತ್ತು, ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮಳೆ ಬಂತು. We could predict the weather pattern, but now we can't, because the global warming has changed the whole climatic pattern of the country. And because of this, hurricanes have become more rampant. Hurricanes andre Chandamaruta. There are lots of, like hurricanes happening all over the world, and these hurricanes are pretty destructive. So idrinda tumba hanikara ide. Andre it destroys cities, it levels cities and forests and everything. So there is a lot of change in the weather patterns, and there is also a lot of change in the rainfall patterns, because you've already experienced it. It is happening now, right now as we speak. We there are floods in Assam. There is drought in some of our districts in Karnataka. See, one kade ati hechagi neer ide, one kade neere illa. All this is again because of global warming. The third problem is its effect on animals and agriculture. Agriculture mele, animals mele tumba parinama beerta ide. Fish population could be affected. Fish population tumba kadime aagta ide. So now our fishermen have to go deeper and deeper into the sea to catch their daily requirement of fish. Also, the insects that bear disease, that is disease pathogen bearing insects like mosquitoes, have increased. So you must have also read a lot of news items in the newspaper about the rise of dengue in Bangalore, in surrounding areas. all this is because of the global warming. The pathogen-bearing insects have increased. Now, our atmosphere has 5 main gases. All of us know that. If you have studied science in your school, you know that there are 5 main gases in our atmosphere. Nitrogen, oxygen, then water vapor, water, then argon, and carbon dioxide. Now, there is about 78% of nitrogen, about 21% of oxygen. But the rest of it, the 3 gases make the rest of the percentage to bring it up to 100%. So now this is a balanced equation, proportion of the gases in the Earth atmosphere. But if this balance is skewed, then it is going to cause a lot of problems. Like global warming is the main reason why all this is happening. Now the nitrogen, because of the global warming, because of the heat, the oxygen and the nitrogen, they combine to produce oxides of nitrogen, like nitric oxide, nitrous oxide, and nitrogen dioxide. So all these are produced, and these are major air pollutants. Apart from this, because of the heat, the oxygen molecules separate. Oxygen is O2, but then when they separate, they become O plus O, and they combine with the another O atom and become O3, ozone. This ozone, of course, that is another very interesting thing. This ozone, as long as it is in the stratosphere, it is very useful. It is very beneficial to mankind, to life on Earth, not just mankind. But when ozone is found in the troposphere, that is from 0 to 12 kilometers from the surface of the Earth, it's a troposphere. So, this troposphere nalli namme ozone idre, it is a major air pollutant. And this air pollutant, ozone, causes lung problems, coughing, and problems in the lung, like shortness of breath. All this happens because of ozone in the troposphere. Ozone in the troposphere is harmful, whereas ozone in the stratosphere is beneficial to mankind. In the stratosphere, ozone, obviously you must have heard a lot of this. Ozone blocks the UV rays, but in the troposphere, it causes a lot of damage to plants and animals. The average temperature has increased at the fastest rate recorded in history. So they say that in the past 150 years, in fact, this is something very interesting, a trivia that I would like to share with you. It says, it is recorded that global warming started because of one particular event that happened in 1830. Exactly on December 4th, 1830, a locomotive, a steam engine, a steam locomotive train carried some tons of coal from Liverpool to Manchester. So Liverpool to Manchester, because Manchester was the manufacturing hub of England. So it carried coal from Liverpool to Manchester. And this whole coal was used in their industrial process. So that is when the Industrial Revolution kind of started. So they used this coal, and they were in the 20 years between 1830 to 1850, they emitted about 126 billion metric tons of carbon into the atmosphere. So this is where global warming started, and the scientists have discovered. So now, what are the causes for global warming? Obviously, carbon dioxide is the major culprit. It is one of the greenhouse gases. So carbon dioxide and other air pollutants, these greenhouse gases collect in the atmosphere. Okay, so now these greenhouse gases, first of all, carbon dioxide namge ellinda barutte. Now hinge carbon dioxide na emit marta idivi. Major reason again is burning of fossil fuels. Fossil fuels is palayulikeya indana, fossil fuel. So this fossil fuels are mostly hydrocarbons. So these hydrocarbons, when they are burnt, they react with the oxygen in the atmosphere. They form carbon dioxide and water. So this carbon dioxide, it is released into the atmosphere. And once the carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere, it stays there forever. Years together, centuries together, carbon dioxide atmosphere nalle udkolutte. There, because it has got nowhere else to go. Where else can it go? So it remains there. And now the carbon dioxide has blanketed the earth. So it is like, you chali adaga blanket hodkoltiralla. Athara. Inside it is very warm, outside it is very cold, and the blanket is protecting you from the cold tara alva. So valagade heat up agirattalva. Ade tara carbon dioxide, it acts like a blanket around the earth. The heat remains within the earth. Munchella yen aagta ittu, heat aagta ittu, and then the heat waves would again radiate back and go into space. Now, because of the carbon dioxide layer, it is not able to escape into space. So it remains there. And this causes the greenhouse effect. Now again, greenhouse effect annadu tumba kelidira. So greenhouse effect annadu ee tara agutte. Adu hundreds of years in the carbon dioxide, adu yavaga 1813 modal bantalla, avaginda carbon dioxide atmosphere nalle ulkombitide. And how do we do this? We use coal, especially coal, because avaga petroleum ginta jasti coal use marta idru. Coal for everything. They used to use coal in the household. They used to use coal in the trains. They used to use coal in industries. So yelladukku coal balasta idru. E coal again is another major byproduct is soot, ash, budi. So global warming is extreme rising of temperature. It fuels longer and hotter heat waves. So ivaga sheke kala jasti agogide because it fuels longer heat waves. So now fossil fuels like coal, oil, natural gas were formed from the remains of plant material deposited during the Earth's Carboniferous period. So fossils andre yenu, it is the imprint of an animal, remains of some ancient living thing. It could be plants, it could be animals, it could be an imprint, it could be a bone, it could be a tooth, it could be a whole skeleton. All these are fossils. So now these fossils again, they're, because of the sedimentation happening over billions of years, idella compress agi petroleum and coal form aitu. Mostly they say that coal was formed with the remains of old plants, and petroleum was formed because of the remains of old animals. That is what is said. And it was in the mid-1800s, around 1830 to be precise, they discovered the use for all these fossil fuels. And then, once now we kept using more and more and more fossil fuels. So we kept using coal for burning, coal for our household, coal for industries, coal everywhere. The worldwide consumption of fossil fuels has increased dramatically. Andre, now we are emitting about 5 billion tons of fossil fuel every year. Andre, when 5 billion tons of fossil fuel urista idive andre, we are emitting an equal amount of carbon dioxide every year into the atmosphere. This carbon dioxide, to a certain extent, is absorbed by trees. More than plants, trees absorb more carbon dioxide for the photosynthesis, and some more is absorbed by the oceans. But the rest is just, it remains in the atmosphere. And again, the oceans have become acidified nowadays because there is so much carbon dioxide in the atmosphere that it dissolves in the water of the ocean, and it has caused the acidification of oceans. And again, this is because this has caused the damage to the coral reefs. It has caused damage to aquatic animals. So all that has again happened. But because we are burning so much fossil fuel at such a rapid rate, there is no longer a balance between the amount of carbon dioxide being added to the air and the carbon dioxide being used up. So now carbon dioxide ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಏರ್ ಒಳಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ತಪ್ಪೋಗಿದೆ. There is much more carbon dioxide than our plants and forests can absorb. As a result, the concentration of carbon dioxide in the air is steadily increasing. So ಇದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. And another problem here again is we are using petrol, diesel, kerosene. We are burning this at an alarming rate. And this again, when cars, vehicles use petrol, the byproduct is again carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide. This carbon monoxide, it's a colorless, odorless gas. And this is highly poisonous because it very quickly reacts with the free oxygen to form CO2. So now this quickly, free oxygen now inhale ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಈ free oxygen ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರಬೇಕು? ನಮ್ಮ cells ಒಳಗಿರೋ free oxygen ನ ಅದು ಎಳ್ಕೊಂಡು react ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ. So now carbon monoxide is highly poisonous. It is a very toxic gas. But ಈ ಫಾಸಲ್ ಫ್ಯೂಯಲ್ಸ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ಬರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ಏನೋ ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತಿತ್ತೋ ಏನೋ. ಬಟ್ ನಾವು ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಫಾಸಲ್ ಫ್ಯೂಯಲ್ಸ್, ವಿ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಕಟಿಂಗ್ ಡೌನ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್. ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕವರ್ ನಾವು ಡಿಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಇವಾಗ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗೋಗಿದೆ. ವಿ ನೀಡ್ land for agriculture, we need land for building houses. So now forest na clear marta idivi. And forest, like I told you, forests are major contributor for the absorption of carbon dioxide. So ivaga forest illa andre carbon dioxide absorption kadame agoytu. And adashte alla carbon now forest na kaddu bit sumne illa, the stumps that are left we are burning that. So now these again are organic. We are all organic matter. We are all made of organic matter. You know that. So the forests are also, the trees are also organic matter, and the stumps that are left are burnt. And this again emits carbon dioxide. So ivaga adaninda again carbon dioxide utpadane aagta ide. When the flames die down, nothing is left but acres of blackened, lifeless countryside. So yen jeevane ilde irodu acres of countryside, acres of black land ulkolutte. So idanna ond ಎರಡು ಮಳೆ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ they clear this and use this for maybe housing purpose or maybe agriculture purpose, whatever it is. And ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಟ್ರೀ ನಾವು ಕಡಿದಾಗ್ಲೂ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ if we are at least able to replace it with another tree, maybe something would have happened, but we have not done that either. Deforestation makes the problem of greenhouse effect worse in two ways. So ಎರಡು ರೀತಿಯಾದ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಒಂದು, trees are burnt, so carbon dioxide absorption ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಯ್ತು. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು, ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಬರ್ನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಎಮಿಷನ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಯ್ತು. ಈ ಬರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಇಂದಾನೇ ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗೋಯ್ತು. ಸೊ ಈ ಎರಡು ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಹೌಸ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Greenhouse effect means that the solar radiation is trapped by the atmosphere. So solar radiation is trapped by the atmosphere. So adu ಒಳಗೇನೋ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, but it does not allow the radiation to go back outside. Now, what are the effects? What are the problems caused by global warming? There are many such problems. One is the rising of sea level. The other is the melting of glaciers. Glaciers are slow-moving rivers of ice. So if the glaciers melt, again it becomes water, and all this water has to go somewhere. It floods the land around them, and it ultimately reaches the sea, and the sea level also increases. Then forest forms cities. All these are affected, because in these places we have troublesome new pests. ಹೊಸ ರೀತಿಯಾದ ಡಿಸೀಸ್ಗಳು ಇವಾಗ ಕಂಡು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇವೆ. These diseases that were non-existent a century ago, we have all those diseases now. Then there is disruption of habitats like coral reefs. It drives away many species of plants and animals to extinction. So ಇವೆಲ್ಲ extinct ಆಗ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Then allergies ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, asthma ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, and we are also creating a favorable condition for these pathogens or viruses and bacteria, and also the insects that carry these pathogens. So that is about global warming. But deforestation ಅಂತ ನಾವೇನೋ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಇವಾಗ ಈ ಡಿಫಾರೆಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಕಟಿಂಗ್ ಡೌನ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ನೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡೋದನ್ನ ಡಿಫಾರೆಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. And the opposite of deforestation is afforestation, when you go around planting trees. As fewer and fewer trees are left to take up the carbon dioxide, the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere increases faster and faster. So idu ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Now, ನಮ್ಮಿಂದ ಏನ್ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಈ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ವಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ನ ತಡೆಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ? Can we do something? Can we contribute to the decreasing of the global warming? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮಿಂದ ಏನಾನ ಸಾಧ್ಯನಾ? ಒಂದು, we can reduce our carbon footprint ಅಂತಾರೆ. Carbon footprint andre the amount of carbon dioxide that an individual or an organization or a community emits into the atmosphere. So idanna carbon footprint antivi. So ee carbon footprint na minimize ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Minimize ಮಾಡೋದು ಹೇಗೆ? By depending less on fossil fuels and using more of renewable sources of energy like sunlight and wind energy. Plant more trees. ಆದಷ್ಟು ಗಿಡ ಮರ ಬೆಳೆಸಿ. Recycle. ನೀವು ಯಾವುದನ್ನು ಬಿಸಾಕ್ಬಿಡಿ, recycle ಮಾಡಿ. Because ಈ recycle ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ you are saving a lot, like the plastics and all that. You're helping the plastics and all this by not getting added into the atmosphere, into the environment. And conserve electricity, conserve water. ಆದಷ್ಟು ನೀರು ಉಳಿಸಿ, ಆದಷ್ಟು ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿ ಉಳಿಸಿ. Then recycle. Recycle is the mantra these days. ಆದಷ್ಟು ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ಗಳನ್ನ, ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಬಾಟಲ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸಬೇಡಿ. ಮುಂಚೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಚಿಕ್ಕವರಿದ್ದಾಗ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಇರಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. By default we used to carry a bag when we went to the shop, but now we expect the shopkeeper to put all our groceries into a plastic bag and bring it home. So don't do this. Try to use cloth bag like we used to earlier. So actually this is a very small lesson, not much to explain, because most of this you would have heard in your science classes, and you just need to remember a few points. The questions asked in the exam would be, what is global warming? What is greenhouse effect? What are the causes of global warming? So these are some of the questions that you will be asked in the exam. So let us address these questions. What is global warming? It is a gradual increase in the temperature of the earth and the temperature of the surface of the earth as well as the atmosphere. So that is global warming. What are some of the causes of global warming? So global warming, ಯಾವುದರಿಂದ cause ಆಗಿದೆ? Like what has started it? Major is fossil fuels. The day humans discovered fossil fuels, the day that humans discovered that coal, petroleum and natural gas can be burned to produce energy, was the day the end of the earth kind of started. It is, you can maybe call it the end of the earth. So fossil fuel burning is one of the major causes. Apart from that, we are also cutting down forests. So that is another major problem that we are causing. According to available statistics, how much fossil fuel is burnt every year? So we are burning about 5 billion tons of fossil fuels every year. You know, 1830, like I told you, we had, that is when global warming is supposed to have started, because that was the start of the Industrial Revolution. And the first train carrying coal to Manchester chugged out on December 4th, 1830. So here, the scientists have finally pinpointed this date as the start of the global warming. So, this date in the carbon dioxide concentration go, even carbon dioxide concentration go 40% increase agogide. How does the concentration of carbon dioxide in the air increase? So, air nalli carbon dioxide hege increase ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. One by burning fossil fuels. The second one is by burning forests. So the forests that are able to absorb carbon dioxide, that has been destroyed, and we are burning more and more and more fossil fuels. And then these fossil fuels are not infinite. It has a limit. After some years, we will have no more fossil fuels left on Earth. But if you use renewable sources of energy like sunlight and wind energy, these are renewable. So that is, it is there always. So what are some of the steps that can be taken to save our environment? One is reduce your carbon footprint. Andre, ಆದಷ್ಟು ಕಡಿಮೆ fossil fuels use ಮಾಡಿ, ಆದಷ್ಟು ಕಡಿಮೆ cars use ಮಾಡಿ, vehicles use ಮಾಡಿ. Maybe go in for mass transport instead of taking individual vehicles. So that way you will reduce the emission of carbon dioxide. Then switch over to renewable sources of energy, recycle, plant more trees. So these are some of the things that you can do as an individual to decrease the level of carbon dioxide. List out some effects of global warming. List out some effects of global warming. One is rising of sea level. The second one is melting of glaciers. Then the third one is increase in the pests that carry pathogens. Pathogens are disease-carrying bacteria and virus. So these pests have increased. Mosquitoes mainly. Then, it is bad for agriculture and fisheries. Then there is a disruption of habitats, like the coral reefs are disappearing. Then our oceans are getting acidified. Allergies, asthma, all this is on the increase. So these are some of the ways that global warming has affected not just mankind, but affected the whole of the earth. But now you might well ask, so ಇಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷ ಇಲ್ದೇನೆ ಸಡನ್ ಆಗಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಇವಾಗ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ವಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ? 1813 ನಲ್ಲೇ ಗ್ಲೋಬಲ್ ವಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಶುರು ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇವಾಗ suddenly, why in the past 15-20 years we are talking about global warming? You might well ask. So why do you think that we are talking about global warming now? Because now we are, ಆವಾಗ 1830s ನಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಅಷ್ಟು fossil fuel ಗಿಂತ ಇವಾಗ we have increased it by like 200 times more fossil fuels we are burning now. So 200 times more, and we have that much more population, so many more vehicles. So all this has happened. So in the past 20-25 years, this global warming effect has increased so much. Discuss the causes and effects of global warming is another question. This is a 5-mark question. So you will have to talk about the causes. Madlu global warming hege shuru aitu? Cause what? How did it happen? So now we have the global warming. We have vehicles. We have factories. For example, you have okay, this is a car going and the exhaust, it emits carbon dioxide. So carbon dioxide emits direct. Then you also have, sorry, the industries are using coal and petroleum. They are emitting sulfur dioxide, sulfur plus oxygen, because sulfur is one of the components of coal, and it is releasing sulfur dioxide. Again, you must have heard of acid rain, and you probably have also heard that the Taj Mahal, which was so white and pristine, has now become blackened nowadays. That is because of acid rain. So you can talk about all this when you're discussing the causes and effects of global warming. It is a 5-mark question, so you can write about 100 words. How does deforestation affect our environment? So deforestation in the how is it going to affect our environment? One trees illa. Tree illa andre, ivaga you also know that photosynthesis agavaga, it absorbs carbon dioxide and it emits oxygen, and it also emits water vapor. So ee water vapor jaasti trees idre water vapor baratte. Water vapor in the male, we get rain. So this is one major contributor to our rainfall. So ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೀ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗಿದೆಯೋ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ ಮಳೆನೂ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. And we have lot of districts in Karnataka where there is very scanty rainfall. Chikballapur district, for example, Kolar district, we don't have much rain in these districts. So now deforestation is one of the major causes for this. So greenhouse effect and one more trivia. Again, this is not part of your textbook. It is only a trivia. It's only a general knowledge piece. It is a term coined by the scientist Fourier. Fourier. Fourier was the person who coined the term greenhouse effect. And another scientist, a Swedish scientist by name Arrhenius, he investigated the effect of global warming. Fourier was the one who gave this term. He gave this term in the early 1830s. Nalli ee term avru coin madidru. That is when the Industrial Revolution was just beginning. And in 1896, he predicted that the earth was becoming warmer and that we have to be very careful before we burn so much fossil fuel. But nobody bothered. Nobody even gave him a year. And people forgot all about his study. All those notes and everything was kept away. People didn't even bother. But then around 1975, when people started feeling the effect of global warming, that's when they pulled out all his old notes and realized that he had been right all along. So 1896 nalle avaru predict madidru, but adukku yaru kivi kodlilla. We have realized that what he said in 1896 is how many years ago? 121 years ago. 121 years ago, he told us that we have to be, careful of global warming happening, but nobody bothered. So this is just a trivia. There is absolutely no need for you to remember this bit, but this is something nice to know. So actually that is about all I have, because this is only a very small lesson on global warming. But if you delve into the ocean of global warming and the material available online, it's excuse me, it's mind-boggling. There is so much material, there is so much research, and so much like people have been warning the governments, but now again the Trump government thinks that global warming is not going to happen. It's all bullshit. That is the new news that we get, that the Trump government does not believe in global warming, in spite of the scientists giving him so many data, so much statistics. Still he's not bothered. He thinks it's all bullshit. So anyway, I know I have kind of finishing much before the time that was allotted to me, but we are welcome to ask questions. So now we'll have an interview. Enter. In Madli. That's all it is. Okay, if you have